for our business stuff. Like this gig that Megan just messaged me about, saying we got, it was through word of mouth. And
wow.
then us posting stuff of us doing drone work in Sundance, we got a construction bid too off of
that's great.
that.
So are you calling clients directly? Do you call them directly and offer your services, or just word of mouth? You don't do any reach?
Just word of mouth. And we'll go to events. So Megan will go to like broker tours, or we'll go into actual companies, and we have like a PowerPoint presentation.
You know, do you go to other industry events and offers your services? Like, just say the real realtors, let's use that. They have just this purely realtor event. Do you go there and offer your service?
Yep.
What other industries have you done that for?
We're looking to get more into construction now.
So you're looking at more construction.
And the thing we always do is we always try to bring a bottle of wine and do a little raffle. Oh. And then also try to get someone like a discounted service too, and then ask them to give us referrals.
Okay.
So it's like, say we haven't, you're in whatever industry, you're in,
let's say medical.
Medical.
Yeah.
And so you're our first person there, so we give you a discounted rate for the value of us getting a referral.
Are we up? Are we there? Oh, okay, good.
So that's a big thing, and getting those introductions, because that's a lot of value. Getting your foot in the door.
Yeah.
And then trying to create, generate a client you can hopefully have for life.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, great.
That's something we push to our students, the whole market yourself.
Yeah.
Post stuff.
Oh, just keep it up. I tell you, and that's the advantage that we have now. There is one, you're talking the game-changing industry.
Yeah.
I mean, social media.
And in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome, Friday at 2 o'clock, gotta be Burnie's Applebox. And boy, we got a great guest for you today. Derek Easley, I'm not gonna introduce him right yet, but that's who it is. And I'll tell you, I have been sitting here fascinated by what this guy has been telling me for the last hour. I wished we would have been rolling on that, but we're gonna give you the good stuff coming right up here. But first, I'd like to introduce Sean and Tony. Stand by Steady Eddies right here, making the show happen every single time. And I would now like to introduce my guest, Mr. Derek Easley.
Bernie, thank you so much for having me. It's a great honor.
Thank you, brother.
Big fan of what you post and what you do, and all of us Long Beach filmmaking community love you sharing your show every single week. So it's great to be here in the flesh.
Well, it's so great to have you, and thank you for the awesome work you're doing. And I went to an event that you guys put on a couple weeks ago, I think it was at this point. And I was so impressed with the event, so impressed with yourself and everybody at the event. It was just so great to hear. And as we've been talking now before the show, the things you're doing, dude, are blowing my mind. And what I really love is the stuff that your attitude and what you're advocating, because I feel like I'm advocating the same things from a different position here. So it's really great. And I would like to say this is a very red letter event for Burnie's Applebox because of all the production people we have. And I know you are a filmmaker, you have a production company, AR, VR, drones, all of that. We're going to get into all of that. You are actually the first actor we have had on here.
No way.
Yes.
Should I pull out my my SAG card?
Yeah,
Let's see here.
That won't do you any good here.
So that's an honor, Let's see if I got it here. Yes, my SAG card right here.
The SAG card. Show it right here. Show it right here. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Little bright, but we got it. That's awesome, dude. So thank you. And I knew you were coming on. I thought, well, this is great. And I go, I almost want to focus more on the acting part of what you do. Yet I started talking to you about your production part, and that is so awesome that we're really going to drill you hard right now, Derek. We're really going to drill you hard.
I'm excited.
First of all, just give us a little synopsis. Take a few minutes and just tell us how you got into the business and where your interests are now.
So I am a card-carrying member of the Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, but I guess maybe my main focus is being a producer. I'm a member of multiple things. One thing I'm part of is the Sky Eye Network, which is the biggest group of drone operators in the world. So I'm very happy that myself and my fiance and my team are part of that group. But my main passion, I'd say, is LABAFA. I don't know if you guys get a shot of that. It's the Long Beach Acting and Film Association, and it's in our 6th year strong, started in 2012, and it's a group that we want to do give back to actors and filmmakers by having free events. And you just came to our event recently.
Very impressed.
Called Future in Showbiz, and we do different themed events every single month. This month in February for Black History Month, it's going to be Black in Showbiz, so we're going to have a panel of all African American actors and filmmakers, and we're going to be celebrating them. But I guess how I got started, if you want to go back into that, is my dad was a photographer and videographer back in the 70s and 80s, and his main job was he got into the medical industry, and he did that for around 40 years. But he used to work for a motorcycle magazine, so he traveled the world doing photography, and we saw these cool photographs that he had from like Morocco and Spain and in Long Beach where we grew up. And then he had this man cave, this kind of like Cold War leftover bomb shelter.
I love that. Yeah, I love that fact.
And he took us to the video store every single weekend, and we'd go to the movie theater, but then we'd also go to the video store, and we'd rent 3 VHS movies. And I was fascinated with the box art. Of the VHS, especially in the horror movie section. That's what attracted you. Just like looking at this compelling artwork. And maybe I shouldn't say this, but God, Dad, forgive me from beyond. My dad passed away last year, but he had a copyright copy guard overwriter, and he would record 3 VHS movies onto a single tape. So he had on 6-hour mode. So we'd have like the Back to the Future trilogy on one tape.
Oh,
and
man.
He had thousands of movies in this man cave. And he had a projector, and it was so cool. So that was like my first film school, was my dad's,
your dad's collection?
lair. Yeah. And I watched all the old John Ford and John Wayne classic westerns.
See, that's so awesome.
Yeah, and
that's so awesome.
He gave me and my siblings, Super 8 cameras, and we'd make short films in our backyard with our He-Man and Dune and Star Wars and G.I. Joe action figures, and we'd do in-camera special effects and practical special effects, and it was just a blast. And my mom was a writer, and she was very creative, and we did a lot of cool stuff with like treasure maps and fantasy stuff, and creating our own worlds and own books and poems. So I was very blessed to have a creative.
That's really such a great environment to grow up in.
Yeah.
And
then I got heavily into sports. I'm a big guy, as you can see. I'm like 6'5", 300 pounds, and I blew out my knee at one point. And I was always into acting. I was in the theater in high school, and with even before that, like church plays and stuff. And once I blew out my knee and I was in a wheelchair for a little while, I was like, well, what do I want to fall back on? And it went back into film classes, and I got really passionate into film, and I worked on some things professionally and like on a PA level, assistant level back in 2000. So I've been in the industry for 19, 20 years, and I've worked on $150 student projects to $150 million big blockbuster feature films, and I've worked on in different capacities for all the big studios. I worked at Sony and Disney and Universal and Warner Brothers, and done. I've laid cable. I've produced stuff. I've done extra background work. I've done stunt work. I've done featured lead work. I've worked in distribution, sales, exhibition. So I've tried, in the 20 years, I've tried to like put my hand, maybe I'm not good at anything, but I've tried to like put my finger in multiple things, so at least I have some type of knowledge about different aspects
Yeah,
of the
you know
film
what?
industry.
I don't think I've had anybody on here that had that whole breadth of what you've just described and do it. And you know what? That is so fantastic for you to have that. And of course, I think we all just sort of land where our real personality takes us, our real self. You know, we land where we're comfortable and where we do the best job, I think.
And that's why I'm on the streets. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you got to focus. I've told you, focus, Derek. But you know what? That is such a rich place to come from in this industry, because this is one of the things that I have seen in myself as I've focused on essentially one aspect of the industry, and that's where I make my money. That's where all my focus is. I thought I knew a lot until I broke out of my little covey where I was very comfortable there. And then I had and still am in that situation of learning, I really don't know a lot of things, how this industry works, you know. And I think that we all find ourselves in that place, you know, when we do one thing good and you're rewarded for that, you know, you don't push yourself to get out there, but you have, and I think that's really awesome.
Well, what's interesting was very early on in film school, you know, one of our professors would be like, okay, what do you want to be? And everyone's like, I want to be a writer, director, producer, actor, blah, 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 multi-hyphenate. And he was like, no, you have to choose if you're going to be an editor, you have to choose if you're going to be a cinematographer. You have to choose one thing and be good at it. And in a certain sense, that is good advice. One of my business coaches says you can't, I forget the Chinese proverb, but if you can't chase multiple rabbits, you know, and expect to catch them. But you have to know many things because you have to keep yourself valuable. One of my screenwriting mentors, Jim Koff, who wrote the National Treasure movies, and I think he wrote the first couple Rush Hour movies. So these are big, successful films, right?
Right.
Well, you know, when there isn't the work there as a screenwriter, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
He's got to pay for the house. He's got to put his kids through college. So he started producing. So he said, like, instead of just being, you know, the master of one, become a jack of several trades. So he got into what he called edutainment and educational production. And so he really inspired me in ways that, like, okay, you know, yeah, I've been focusing on whatever I was doing, screenwriting or something, but I need to be able to go make my own project, because if the job isn't there, you have to kind of create the work yourself.
Yeah. Yes. Well, that being a really crucial, you have to be the value that somebody needs, right, to come in. That's how you get it. You know, now let's go to the acting part, because that fascinates me. First of all, did you, and I think every young person does, if you love movies, you go up, you love seeing the actors. That's the thing you look at first, and you go, that's what I want to be. That's so cool. That must be awesome to be there. Of course, as a child, you don't have any idea of what they're, you know what I mean, what they're actually doing to make that film.
Right.
You know? How did it intersect for you to become an actor? How did that happen?
Well, I just always loved performing, and I was a bit of a ham growing up with, you know, my siblings and my family, and we'd, like, you know, put on fake plays at home and stuff. And I remember one of our first church plays I did, I think my line was like, saddle them up and move them out, and I had stage fright. I couldn't even say the darn line. So my first real performance, I was like, and I think someone else had to say the line for me, you know. But then I got better after that. I loved being in front of people. I loved performing. I did a lot of high school and local city one acts and performances, and then I got into improv, and we were in a group called the Improvaholics. And one of our coolest things is we got to perform with Wayne Brady at the Roosevelt Hotel.
Oh, awesome.
And Wayne Brady is just one of the most amazing performers. Why that guy didn't break into, I mean, he's still successful, he's working, he's great, but like why he didn't become an A-list guy, I never know, because he's got more talent in his pinky finger than most people. You know, he can sing, he can write, he can dance, he can act, he can rap, he can do impersonations. And what's fantastic about performing with him was that he would set you up so you would have the punchline.
So you would have it. Oh
yeah,
man,
so,
that's
so
a pro.
you looked good.
That's a pro.
You know, so everyone, like, you know, you were in the Roosevelt in Hollywood, and everyone's like cracking up, and it's like, wow, they're laughing at me, because Wayne Brady was so gracious
He gave
to give.
you
yeah. So that was an awesome experience.
That's
and then
really great.
I did background work and extra work and stunt work, and got my vouchers and joined SAG. And I think one of the difficult things, because of my size, and I started doing a documentary about this in 2012.
How tall are you?
6'5", just under 6'6", and then when I'm in shape, I'm 225.
Oh.
When I'm out of shape, like I am now, it's a shape. It's more of a round shape. It's a different shape. I'm about 330 right now. sorry.
Yeah.
So I started doing a documentary on this because my hair is up right now, but I have long blonde hair, and I sometimes have a scraggly beard going out.
Can grow, yeah.
And I did a documentary called Typecast. I started shooting it in 2012, and it became really boring just shooting myself. So I started interviewing friends, and it was about body image in Hollywood. So I was like, what if I lost 100 pounds?
Yeah.
Shaved the beard off, cut the hair, because I was playing biker number 2,
Sure.
thug number 2, stunt work. I was, the Viking commercials. I was one of the Vikings.
Okay.
I got set on fire on TV. That was kind of cool.
Wow.
But what's funny is that they still put on like a prosthetic beard and a prosthetic nose and this big.
On
Even though I had
top of
long
what
hair,
you
like
come in
longer
with, yeah.
extensions and stuff, so I looked really scraggly and dirty. So I was like, well, what if I wanted to? Because my mom's always like, "You're so sweet, honey. You're always playing the bad guy on CSI, or the convict or the thug. What if no one knows how sweet you are?" I'm like, well, because I'm tall and fat, So I lost
Your mom
100.
loves you.
She is. She's my number one fan. So I lost the weight and shaved the beard down and cut the hair down, and sure enough, I was getting detective roles and I was getting different roles. So it was an interesting process to document that. But like I said, I got really bored filming myself. So I also got interviews with John Lithgow.
Oh wow!
Who's a very tall actor, and then one of my favorite ones was Danny Trejo.
Okay.
Because he came from.
Everybody loves Danny Trejo.
But he came from a real gangbanger background and embraced that typecast. But then from that, he's doing animated voices now. He's doing family films.
Dude.
He's got his own franchises, right?
Yeah.
Food franchises.
Yeah.
So the guy was able to break type by embracing the type that he had so well, and then becoming so beloved in that, and then stretching out, and then having his own franchises with. Badass is one franchise, and of course Machete. So he's awesome. Love Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
So that's something I became fascinated. But then I got fat again. So now I'm my recent roles have been more towards the big guy stuff. I just recently played a football player for a McDonald's commercial, and then last year I also did a Netflix comedy project, and then a Hulu horror project. But definitely based on type and based on how you look and your height. And your hair, and your gender, and your skin color is really going to affect. Because first thing the casting people look for, are you upscale or are you downscale? Are you hot? Are you a model? How old are you? What's your facial hair? Blah, blah, blah. So
everything's superficial.
Super superficial. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you, if you were to say, try to expand your acting bona fides here and create that more as a mainstream income from you. What would you have to do that? I'm trying to get some idea of would you have to would you have to be on the phone every day talking to people? Would you have to be doing pieces? You just said you would probably have to lose weight
unless you were really embracing that, okay, I'm the big guy, I'm the, the
and
thug,
you were just right there.
Right,
yeah.
Which there are more limited parts for that, but there are parts. It's hard. It's hard to be a full-time working actor. I've done it before. When I was thinner and more in shape, I was getting more roles. Like I said, more detective work. I even got some stuff as like a love interest. Whereas when you're 300 pounds plus, you'll never be.
You're not
a
the
love
romantic
interest.
lead,
No,
right?
no, never.
Yeah. Which is too bad.
Yeah, because in the indie film world, you should see more people
absolutely.
I want to see a movie where Paul Giamatti is the love interest, you know. But it is a full-time, really hard job. There's a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
You're submitting yourself to tons of things. You're going to out of 10 auditions, you might get one callback.
Yeah.
And then the game has really changed, especially if you're in the union. There's so much non-union work now with stuff that's going on with Instagram and
So the social media has
stuff.
come in
Yeah.
there.
So for example, if I'm going to do a commercial on Derek's shampoo, and I'm going to hire Burnie's production company to do a commercial on Derek's shampoo, and I'm going to give you $100,000 to do this commercial, and then you're going to be paying these SAG actors whatever their rate is to do this commercial.
Right.
And then however this commercial is delivered, whether it's on network or on web or whatever, you get X amount of eyeballs. But if you go and find a social media influencer and pay them 10 grand, and they have a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of engagement,
Which is generally targeted to a very narrow focus. Right.
And if you're using certain analytics, they're finding these social media people that they can use for their advertising purposes in a much cheaper way, which hurts us people in the union. So that's why SAG has been doing a better job recently of reaching out to influencers and Instagram people and trying to bring them into the Screen Actors Guild and work with them. And that's part of what the union is trying to do, is modernize.
So the union is, I didn't know this, they're sort of focusing on the influencer now.
Right.
For the SAG is.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
because
interesting.
they're seeing that a lot of ads are falling through the cracks, and a lot of voiceover work is going to non-union, so they're trying to embrace the new digital technology. So they're doing a better job of it, but it's a slow and steady process.
I had no idea about that. So an influencer would become a SAG member, and then what? Charge the rates that SAG charges?
Yeah, they're working with different contracts now with SAG New Media to try to adjust for everything, so make it profitable for everybody. But if they don't adapt, then you die.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. SAG, I think, correct me if I'm wrong here. I better be careful what I say here, but it is a very powerful union.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I see a lot of times, or I hear because of my end, crew end, you know what I mean? Guys will go, oh, it's a non-union shoot with SAG actors. So SAG will come in, but the rest of the union shoot is non-union. Have you heard of that, or are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I mean, there can be shoots that have union and non-union actors.
And non-union, yeah. But boy, they always have SAG, because SAG, I mean, look, just to be honest, there are a lot of good non-SAG actors out there. And just because you're in SAG doesn't mean you're right for the part. I totally get that. You know what I mean? But I've gone non-SAG and SAG. As a crew member, you always want to have a SAG actor.
Right. I mean,
because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, there's usually a reason why you're in SAG. It's a kind of exclusive club, and there's a lot of great benefits and protections. But my advice to young actors is to pay your dues, and I obviously advocate for the union and support the union. I'm a card-carrying member, but join when you're ready, and join when you're at a place where you feel like you can be getting those union gigs,
Yeah, right.
And if you can flourish in the non-union space and, do what you need to do with digital stuff or build up your portfolio or whatever you need to do, then, do what you got to do to get to the point where you need to join.
Now, is a SAG actor penalized if they take a non-SAG job?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's rule number
one.
one.
How would they find out? Besides being all over on the national commercial.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on set who report things, and people who are keeping track of your career and stuff. So people get away with it, but yeah, it's rule number one. Not work on.
You would have some problems if you did that.
Definitely.
Got you. How much does it cost to be a SAG member? Like when you go in, what is the initial fee, and what are the dues?
The dues can rate on what you're making, and joining is like over $3K.
$3K. Yeah, I know. I think the grips were like, I think 4,000 or 5,000 when I when I have my opportunity to join them.
So like, you know, it's worth it when you're getting the work and you're doing it, but like if
you're sitting there with no work, you've
Right.
got one job and
Yeah.
then no work for 9 months, then you're hurting.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I mean, I would have joined the union gladly, and still don't even know if I made a mistake by not doing it, but I was older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't going to be out working those jobs that much, and I own a company.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, that's the thing I promote with a lot of the LABAFA stuff, the Long Beach Acting and Film Association, is with a lot of these actors, you know, create your own work, and you can take, and SAG will work with you with a digital project or a low budget project to make it a union project. But there's a lot of actors who say, like, going back to the typecast thing,
Right.
oh, I want to be the femme fatale, or I want to be the girl next door, or I want to be whatever, but I'm only being cast, I'm only being put in this box. Well, instead of paying thousands and thousands of dollars to these workshops and these other things, take that money and become a producer. Now make yourself your own valuable commodity.
Yes.
Become an entrepreneur. Get other actors around you, other screenwriters, other videographers, and make a product that can go up on IMDb. You can get IMDb credit for it. Put it out to the film festivals, and now you're more than just an actor. You're a producer. You know.
Derek, I'll tell you something, dude. You are talking my language when you talk like that, because so many people sit and wait for someone
Right.
else to see. They're never going to find you. They're not going to get you out
Excuse
of
me.
the pizza commercial you're an extra in
Yeah.
and do anything. You've got to work, and that's just what you're advocating. Take every resource that you have and use it to push yourself and others ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is from indie film darling Mark Duplass. It's "The cavalry's not coming." You know, you have to be your own cavalry. You got to
Yes,
get out there. And
yes.
my catchphrase is like, you know, you need to be in the let's make it happen business. So let's make it happen.
Yeah. And speaking of let's make it happen, list for me, tell me what you're into. We talked about this out here just a few
Right.
minutes ago, but now tell me what you, as a producer, business owner, filmmaker, tell me, and I know there's, I think, 3 things that you're kind of focusing on, but let's get into that a little bit, what we talked about.
One thing I didn't tell you about off screen, I'll run through real quick, is with LABAFA, we are making it national and international.
Oh.
We already have an established group up in the Bay Area, the Bay Area Acting and Film Association. So
Oh,
the
I did
idea
not
is
know that.
to take the AFA part, AFA, Acting and Film Association, put an I on it, Acting and Film Association International. So we want groups like LABAFA to exist in different cities around America and around the world, where we can provide the educational resources, because you might find a great grip in Florida. You might find this amazing actress in Wyoming. You might find this incredible VFX artist in Albuquerque.
Sure.
And these people who might not have the resources that we do in LA and New York, Atlanta, Chicago, we want to promote them and build them up and create a synergy of education and screening and production opportunities so that they can flourish. So that's kind of our main goal for AFAI. For Derek Easley Entertainment, the company named after myself. And then one thing, you won't be able to see this on camera, but I know it's silly, but I always tell people to have a business card with your logo on it and your picture on it. And I say this because I'll go to conferences, I'll go to film festivals, and I'll literally get dozens to hundreds of business cards. And if I have one that just says Burnie on it, I'm like, who the hell is Burnie?
Yeah.
But I have your picture on. Oh, we had a sandwich together. I know that guy. We had that great conversation about something we did down in San Diego. So then I'm like, I'm going to email this guy first, you know.
Yeah.
And then, of course, have your website, have your stuff, but always have flyers too. Flyers are great to give away. Someone has.
I know nobody does flyers anymore, right?
It's completely invaluable. So Derek Easley Entertainment, the company named after myself, we do drone work. We work in real estate and entertainment. A couple of our biggest clients are tech companies, so we do in-house movies for eBay, and we're working with an artificial intelligence company. And something I found really fascinating at a drone event we did recently is our business coach was talking about emerging industries.
Yes.
And if we're living 80 plus years on Earth, we're possibly living through 2 or 3 different emerging industries.
By the way, at that rate, I'm at 2.5.
Perfect. There you go. So, like, you know, the automobile industry was an emerging industry, and recently we had like the internet boom or the smartphone boom. And these things happen over time. What's weird about right now is that you have 3 emerging industries happening simultaneously. You have drones, artificial intelligence, and AI. Everything good?
Oh, we're all good.
With drones, this is a major disruptor in multiple industries. And we were just thinking about, with our drone work, we're working with, entertainment and real estate.
Right.
But no, drones are taking over everywhere. Drones are involved in search and rescue. They're involved in laying down fiber optics. They're involved in deliveries. They're involved in the medical industry.
Wow.
There's all these things are happening with the drone industry with geothermal, with mapping, with resorts, golf courses, agriculture. So that completely blew our mind. And then with the virtual reality space, we have been developing VR videos and working with a platform that's in the top 3 apps on the Oculus.
Oh,
and it's called Amaze VR, and we did about...
so this is work you have done. You've
correct.
done the Maze VR stuff. Wow.
Yeah, and we shot a horror film with them last year, and we've been developing a virtual reality talk show with our partner Jonathan Sterrett, and the talk show is called Stereoscopic with Jonathan Sterrett, and it's a mixed reality talk show where we're also partnering with an animation company called The Mind Show. So we have an avatar of Burnie and an avatar of Derek and interacting in this 3D animated space.
And they could be coming from 2 different spots, right? Yeah,
right.
They could be...
and they're doing cool mixed reality stuff, so we also have a live action segment, and say I say something to piss Burnie off, you could shoot heat vision out of your eyes and fry me or something, right? So cool augmented reality, interesting stuff there. And then with AI, we're actually coincidentally working with a AI company up in the Bay Area that we're doing some marketing and promotional videos for them too. So we're working in all 3 of these.
That is so awesome,
markets.
dude. That is so awesome. You know what, Derek? We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Burnie. I own Burnie's Grip and Lighting, San Diego Grip and Lighting, and Los Angeles Grip and Lighting. You know, we pride ourselves on not only renting you the best equipment, but also giving you the best crews. And one of our core values here at Burnie's Grip and Lighting is that we give you the highest production value in the world. And remember, people used to say national, local. No. We present world-class production value on every set. We also know budgets are very tight these days, and you've got 10 hours to get what you need in the can. We move ahead, we move fast, and we know what you need. When you rent from Burnie's Grip and Lighting, you have a partner on your production for that day that is making sure you are well taken care of. So anytime you're in Southern California, give us a call at 714-609-3545, and we'll take very good care of you. See you on set. Hey, and we're back with Mr. Derek Easley of
Thanks so much.
LaBeffa.
LaBeffa, that's it.
Long Beach Actors,
Acting
and
and Film
Association.
There we go.
International. International.
Boom. Take
now.
it international, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You know what, Derek, you were so nice to invite me to one of your meetings here a couple weeks ago, and you did that. And of course, I'd been posting there for a long time, and I met Sarah Washugel, right?
Yep.
Yep. And that was so nice to meet her in person. I've
Yeah.
been friends with her for a long time
Awesome.
on Facebook. That was so great. But the greatest thing is when you walked in today and we were talking and you pulled this sheet out and you said, well, I've been working on some things about how things have changed so much. And of course, that is just coursing through my mind all the time is
Yeah.
change. I'm always thinking about change. I'm always looking back and seeing how change brought us to the place we are today. You know, it says, but you gave a list here of, well, tell us about it. Tell us about this list.
So I developed a presentation because I like to give kind of a lesson with every single event we have, and we did an event about the transformations in Hollywood for a panel we did at the Long Beach Indie International Film Festival last year. So I prepared a thing that was maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 bullet points, but it's expanded now, and I'm working on a book. It's called Hollywood Transformed, and on each one of these bullet points there's an extended version, but so far there's 130 bullet points here, and it dates all the way back to one of the first big transformations with Sony buying Columbia Pictures in 1989. But this really kind of covers mergers and acquisitions, which we saw this year or last year with Disney getting Fox.
Yes.
And then AT&T picking up Warner Brothers to become Warner Media.
And it is still really very much in the middle of this merger.
And they just announced about maybe 4,000 jobs are going to be lost with the people on the 20th Century Fox back lot, which I have a lot of friends working at. It's very sad. And then also big technical changes to innovation relating to the film industry. So I can't believe it's 2019 now, but something I talk to my students about and filmmakers, young actors and filmmakers is, you guys, we're in the middle of it. This is very exciting. These smartphones, these things, this is an Android. I have a Apple too, but the iPhone came out in 2007.
Yes.
This is brand new,
Yes.
and we completely depend on these things.
Even worse, at my age, I can't remember life without the cell phone.
Isn't that weird?
I
Yeah.
can't remember. I think, how did we know to do that?
We used to have watches. We used to have alarm clocks. We used to have Thomas guides and MapQuest.
Oh, Thomas guides.
Now it's everything is on our phone.
Yes.
We used to carry around digital cameras. Even if you're not a photographer, you'd have a digital camera for an event, or a disposable camera. No, it's all here on your phone.
It's all right there.
But if you look at some other big changes here, Facebook, 2004, 2006 big launch. YouTube, 2005. Twitter, 2006. Amazon Prime, 2006.
Hold on there, because this is what I think is fascinating. You know, in our industry, of course, and I love what you've done here, because I've always just thought of the technology.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The technology was driven by the economics.
Right.
Right? And you see this. And now here's where it really comes to prove it. The economics now are online.
Right.
There was, remember back in the day, when you had to do a project, well, projects cost $100,000 to get out there have a couple guys, some guys out there for a couple days and doing all that cost $1,000. That's because the pipeline was that big. It was small, And then the pipeline with Facebook at 2004, of course it didn't start that year, and YouTube at 2005, that made the pipeline a floodplain.
Right, exactly.
And everybody got out. Then, on top of that, and I'm sure you've got it in here too, is when the 5D on Canon came out, and all of a sudden their first video that they're showing is being shot at night with no lights.
Incredible, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, there's stuff in here about
let's go through it. Let's keep going.
The Reds and the REs and the 5D and the 4K and all the things that are changing.
Well,
but one thing that was interesting, I told you off camera, was we did a SAG event with Google, and they were talking about how in the last 30 days, more content has been created than the last 30 years.
Wow. Let's savor that for a moment.
So what does content mean? well, Burnie's Applebox, this is a piece of content.
Right.
Or maybe a vlog I go home and do. So,
or maybe a live stream that you do on your phone.
Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily need to be Avengers 12 and Avatar 14 or, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the 80th spinoff, but it still counts as digital content, video content that's going up. In the last 30 days, more content has been created than the last 30 years.
That is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That is mind-blowing.
And in recent years, the number is in here somewhere, but say it's something around 500 scripted fictional narrative TV shows came out, versus, this is not including daytime or reality shows.
Just
or whatever.
Narrative shows.
Yeah. So as far as like being a reviewer or someone who works in media, you could at one point watch all the new shows and watch all the shows that are out. But if you could magically stay awake for every single hour, every single minute of the day, of 365 days in the year, you could still not, and you were just watching TV.
You still not
you
see
still
everything.
could not watch all the new content that comes out in the year. So it's incredible how much new stuff comes out. It's a good thing and a bad thing.
Right.
Because it affects rates, it affects work, but it also creates opportunity for people to get out there and get stuff up on YouTube, to go work at Hulu or Amazon or Netflix, rather than just focusing on ABC, CBS, NBC.
Yeah, so true. And you know what? One of the things, of course, one of the latest statistic I've heard on YouTube, and this goes back, and they're down here as 2005, I think, where they came in, but that it's 450 hours a minute is being downloaded to YouTube every day. And that's a minute. That's a minute. So when you start extrapolating those hours to years, it's something like in a day, it's like 2,000 years worth of video.
Insane.
It's beyond comprehension. Yeah. I will say, for me, it's beyond comprehension to imagine those kind of numbers happening every day. I just can't put it together. It blows it apart. But look at what's out there. Yeah. Look at who the producers are. And, what are we going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? You're the consumer. You know what I mean? It's out there, but we are consuming it. We're taking it all in, People are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on YouTube ads alone. Right. Not even selling anything.
The number one kid YouTuber, I forget his name, I think it's like Ryan. And he was doing unboxing stuff, and he was just doing it for fun. And his parents ended up creating a studio after it, and now they're doing puppets, now they're doing animation, and now they're doing movies and book tie-ins. I could not believe this, but in 2018, for the merchandising for this brand, they're trying to make it like as big as Mickey Mouse or SpongeBob. And I'm like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. It's a kid opening toys. But the merchandising for the brand was getting close to $1 billion.
Unbelievable.
His T-shirts were surpassing Minecraft sales for young boys in Walmart. And his Ryan's egg, which was like a mystery egg, you open it up, it's an unknown toy, that was selling out at Target. And this is a kid YouTuber who's just having fun. Yeah. And he's found an audience, he has his passion, and they've actually, it started off very kind of low budget, but now they've done special effects, and they've done their own studio, and the parents are filmmakers, and it's just amazing how it's taken off.
Well, you see that a lot. I have a good friend who's a PR guy over at Razer, and he just sent me this little video that they do, and they use these guys sometime, and I apologize, I don't remember their names, but they're unboxers, the same thing, only they do tech, And this guy showed the area where he started out in, where a little space he rented in a big warehouse. He's now bought the warehouse. He's got 2 huge stages in there. And he's still got it fixed up, his little table where he does the unboxing.
That's so
what
cool.
I mean? So he does it, and he's making, these guys, I guess they're making hundreds of thousands a month doing this now, because of ads and deals that they've got and all that. That's incredible. Let's go through this a little bit more. The iPhone the smartphone. You know, in 2007, I had a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
And that came out, and I thought, BlackBerry. I really love my BlackBerry. I don't think I'm going to get this iPhone thing, right? 6 months later, I got an iPhone.
Nice.
Because now I could get that, but got an app. You
Yeah.
thought about, what's this app thing? I've got to find out. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Directions. Throw the Thomas guides out.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to have like a stack of Thomas guides because I needed San Diego County, Orange County, Los Angeles, Ventura, all that. That was gone.
And you think about the computing power that's in these things.
Incredible.
More computing power than the huge computers that sent the first rockets into space.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, to the moon.
And with our drone work, these are our LCD screens. These are our apps. This is where we connect with our GPS, and we connect with all the FAA rules. We plug it in the bottom of our drone,
right,
and we go into the DJI app, and then we have our flight patterns, and we do our waypoints, and this is all off of a phone.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Let's go. Let's see. Instagram was 2010. Snapchat 2011. I still haven't figured out Snapchat.
And Snapchat, though, there's billions of original snaps per week. Instagram has changed the game now with IGTV in 2017. Recently, they just started doing Instagram stories to compete with Snapchat. But now there's a platform and a TV service on Instagram. And everything's becoming so scalable. It's so interesting is, say we have a show where Burnie is going to be, climbing to the top of a mountain. So if it's on the Discovery Channel, it's like, okay, here's our hour show on the Discovery Channel. But what they would do is they would do a behind-the-scenes Facebook Live show of what Burnie is going through. They'd have his safety crew on the Snapchat. They'd have his family on the Instagram stories. So everything is scaled. So you take one piece of content, and they're putting on all these different platforms, which you even do with your show that's on different channels and platforms.
Sure.
But it's all about creating different and original content, and it's
and that's really the new media. Because it has to be, you can't just have one channel. You can't just have it on TV.
Yeah.
You've got to be on social media. We have, and this is something I got so into talking to you, I kind of forgot all about. We've got film and video and pictures that we've got. So I don't know what we've got up. Maybe what we want to do, we can put a little box down there and we can sort of narrate through what we got.
Let's see what we got.
Guys, are you ready? We just woke him up. We just woke him up.
Do you want to do the video first or the photos?
Let's do the video first.
Perfect.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Awesome.
I think the video is going to be from our future. Right there. And they're shooting on a Blackmagic cinema camera. There's some big fat guy saying something stupid. So what's interesting about this event, Future in Showbiz, is that we were focusing on different areas of emerging platforms and tech. So we had a guest speaker focusing on, Sarah's amazing. She's our vice chair of LABAFA. And these are a bunch of great, interesting actors and filmmakers who kind of get up and introduce themselves and talk about who they are. There's my buddy Patrick who worked on eBay. Is there no audio here, guys? It's always fun and interesting, and there's very cool and talented people who come. He's a stand-up comedian there. He's a young filmmaker. But our guest speakers focused on technology of CES. Mm-hmm. They focused on drones, AR, VR, web commercials, social media, lots of great stuff.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great event, very interesting. Everybody was very friendly and very welcoming. I thought it was really, really, really great.
There's a Ronin. There's
that's a giveaway.
Yeah. We have there's the Derek Easley Entertainment
merch.
I always say get your own merch, man. Promote yourself. So true.
There's
one of our Mavic Pro 2s. We had a Mavic Pro Zoom. That's our moderator there, Dimitri. He's great. He's got a couple really awesome film shows. And we had, for the first time ever, Miss LaBaffa, and she was awesome. She did a voice for the new How to Train Your Dragon movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then there's, on the panel as well as Drew. That's Adrian speaking, and next to him is my producing partner, Jonathan Starrett.
Okay.
Drew is a really cool guy. He was talking about phone stabilizers and shooting, 4K. That's Drew right there. He works with PadNet, a local Long Beach film studio or TV studio we shoot out of. And he teaches a lot of kind of new tech stuff. That's another producing partner of mine, Damien. He's a great local Long Beach guy, 4th Street Productions, and we shoot eBay projects together. So yeah, it was a really great panel. There's Todd. He's an expert drone operator. And it's really awesome.
No, it was a lot of fun, and it was great. And you had a little station out back. You can see it with a light there, where you were interviewing members.
Yeah, we're doing a documentary for the PadNet. It's going to be called LaBaffa Presents Future in Showbiz, and we just wanted to talk to all these great actors and filmmakers and get their perspective on how the film industry is changing with future in tech.
Yeah, and you know what, too, another thing that I think is important is, the thing I like to remind people of, this isn't the future. This is now.
This is happening right now.
This is right now. You can do all this stuff.
Yep.
What is the future? You know what I mean? Give me your take on that. What is the future?
We're all going to be in the Matrix. It's all going to be Ready Player One.
It is Ready Player One.
It's all going to be avatars and weird digital stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of blown away with the VR AR stuff we've been doing and XR and mixed reality, because
tell me about that.
I'm used to a lot of the language of here, like what your amazing production crew is doing here. There's one shots, two shots, close-ups. The language of virtual reality is different. You can do camera movements, but everything has to be very smooth. And there's some stuff that's very experiential, where it's like, maybe the camera is here and it's shooting on kind of a 180-degree platform, and you're like a voyeur, and like you're in the middle of the action. Whereas, so much stuff with cinema is you're using cuts and editing to show emotion or show what's happening, but often with VR, like, you have to be in it, and you can't make the viewer sick. And I think
wow, interesting.
Yeah, I think
because you've got those goggles on,
right.
and now you're part of it.
Right. And we just did we did the Sundance Film Festival. I'm recovering from a cold from that, but we were in cold, snowy Park City, Utah, and it was fun for us. We flew drones for the first time in the snow. But we were really interested in their AR, VR stuff, and a lot of their headsets were kind of clunky, and you'd get like sweaty in these headsets. And that's something I think in the future was where you're going to get, just kind of contact lenses or like just sunglasses.
It's got to be something different, because those are too
cumbersome.
They're way too cumbersome. Yeah. And something too interactive, or something that I think too could respond to some sense of where you're telling it to look physically.
Right.
You know what I mean? Something like that. Yeah, I think it's we are not there yet.
Right.
The thing that blows my mind is we're still calling this a phone.
Right. Yeah.
When it does everything else.
Yeah,
Now
exactly.
the phone is the most annoying part of this.
Yeah, people are probably. I wonder what percentage of time they're actually using that to call somebody and talk to somebody.
You know what? What, 10% maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, for all the things that you can use that
Yeah.
for, Do we have some of the stills, guys? Let's take a look there and see what we got. Maybe you can just talk us through this a little bit.
There's
Okay.
me at the Screen Actors Guild. One of our meetings there in the James Cagney boardroom. We're talking about something very important there, and
Gotcha.
I'm being a ham, sitting up front.
You have to.
And this is one of our last LaBaffa meetings,
Yeah.
featuring in Showbiz at Echoes. We had a really good turnout. We had around 50 people come up.
That's great.
So yeah, that was awesome. Lots of great, interesting people. There's me and Megan, my fiance and business partner. We're in Sundance Park City, and we have both our drones there. We're flying our drones in the snow. It was very fun. Got some
And
great
you know what?
footage.
How was that? How was that event? I have never been there, but
It's amazing.
I'll bet.
It's our
We'll
first
talk
time.
about that in a minute. Who's this?
That's Alex. That's our
Okay.
that's our VFX guy. He also is a drone operator with Derek Easley Entertainment. He worked on the eBay projects with us, and He's a member of LaBAFA, and that's us getting some great drone stuff in Huntington Beach.
Oh, wow, great. Great.
Over the wetlands there.
Yeah.
And, there's just so much great footage and so many awesome things you can do action-wise with drones.
Yeah.
So this is a Mavic Pro 2. The sensors on this thing are amazing. It can stay up in the air for 30 minutes.
Wow.
It can go over like around 30 miles per hour. It can go 16,000 feet in the air, but legally you only can keep it around 400 feet for FAA stuff. You can get waivers to go above that. But this is an incredible piece of technology, and it's just amazing. It shoots in 4K. It's just unbelievable how they've been able to make these things more compact.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And really, I think, too, these drones are almost like some of the first true robotics that you're seeing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they have self-awareness. They know where they're at. They can come back. They know where they left, you know?
And then you have big drones that have big deliverables, and, you know, you have matrices, and you have...
So this isn't a DJI product. This is something else?
Yeah, this is at Drone Command Live, and the DJI really kind of controls the market. They have about 85 to 90% of drones out there, and there really isn't...
There's not much room for somebody else to come in.
Yeah, I own stock in a couple American drone companies, and unfortunately there isn't really a good number two.
Analogy.
DJI is a Chinese company, and they're just really kicking butt. That's me in Burbank flying a Phantom. So yeah, there's a lot of amazing things that these drones can do as far as like mapping and geothermal stuff. And
you say you're breaking out into some of that too.
Yeah, we have a construction contract. We're going to be working on some stuff in Riverside, and it's just, you know, mind-blowing what these things are going to be doing. So this is doing some virtual reality work here. Those are two Panasonic GH5S Lumix cameras rigged together on what's called the Wally, on a rig by Amaze VR. I think there we're probably shooting at the Long Beach Zombie Walk, and there's the Wally again. We're shooting for Access Hollywood.
You're shooting 3D?
Yeah, we're doing red carpet. It's 3D. And there's two lenses are shot. They're slightly askew, and they're stitched together to create a stereoscopic 3D image, and our videos are all 180. Interestingly enough, once you're in the rig, if you're doing a 360 video, only about 3 to 4% people turn all the way around.
Oh, I'm not surprised whatsoever.
Most people keep it forward.
Because people aren't used to seeing behind their head.
No.
Yeah.
Here's the McDonald's commercial I did recently.
Okay, that's great.
With Travis Kelce. I'm a Chargers fan in real life, but I played a Chiefs fan for this SAG national commercial for McDonald's, and that was really fun. We shot that here in Long Beach, and that was great. Oh, that's working with Stan Lee.
Oh, great, yeah.
God rest his soul.
Yes.
He did a Star Trek project for us, and we paid him in In-N-Out cheeseburgers and vanilla shakes and fries. And that morning, he did a Gillette Avengers 2 commercial. He did our little project in the afternoon, and then he flew up to Canada and did his cameo for the first Deadpool movie. So
what a guy.
He's a national treasure. We love
This is a sad loss. Just shortly ago, not long ago.
Yeah.
So tell me, we have a question, Tony? Yeah, let's get it in.
Yeah, real quick before the show ends.
Yeah.
Carl Anton Svensson.
What a great name.
Dad, love that. How does one stay relevant production and distribution wise in today's age? Since there's new people, so many new people on the streets.
Yeah, I would say try to work in these emerging markets. If you can try to work in drones, if you try to work in VR, AR, that would be great. But, you know, go to networking events, collaborate with people, be willing to work on these days that you know might be your day off. Me and the guy who founded LaBAFA with me, Robert Earl Ray, we'd always say, well, what are you doing tonight? Because a lot of people are like, oh, that's below my pay rate, or oh, hey, I normally don't do that. But if you're at home watching Netflix or playing Xbox, or you could be working on this kind of new virtual reality music video on a Saturday night, maybe you want to go out to Burbank and shoot this virtual reality music video and work with this kind of new technology. So I'd just say keep networking, expand your network, Get out there, be very excited about yourself and what your skill set is, and promote yourself. If you're not hyped on yourself and your own craft, why am I as a producer going to be hyped on you and what you do? And be friendly. People don't want to work with a-holes. You know, a lot of time on set, people are spending time away from their family and friends to be working with you, so make that a pleasant experience.
Boy, never truer words were spoken right there. Who do you want to spend 10 hours with?
Exactly.
That's how this industry works.
And we all talk. Bernie's opinion has a lot of weight with me. So if I know a guy, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this guy? And Bernie's like, I don't like him so much. I'm not going to hire him. You know, so...
Which also says, make sure you're an honest person and be true with your thoughts about who's good and who's not. Because those lips, they can cause problems for people, and make sure you're telling the truth, and you know it. If somebody didn't live up to your expectations, let somebody know. But don't be too rough on somebody. Allow a little bad day here.
Yeah, everyone can have a bad day. That's what we always say, communicate and explain, like, hey, I got something going on, blah, blah. And people are very forgiving, and they want to give second chances and stuff. But I just say, get yourself out there, work, hustle, focus on new media, digital stuff. You can be vlogging, you can be posting stuff every single day. You can be writing, you can be shooting short budget or low budget projects. You can be working with local actors and filmmakers, so you don't have to always be saying, oh, I'm not getting this gig at Paramount. I'm not getting this gig at Amazon,
And you want to attract attention? Don't be afraid what people think of you. Go out, try something, and fail. And do it over and over and over again. Don't worry about the failure. You're in the business of eyeballs. Go get them.
Awesome.
And you know what, buddy? We're out of time.
What?
Yeah.
I want to keep talking. There's all these cool things.
I know. This is what I catch my wind after the first hour. But tell us about, how do we get a hold of you? How do people get your services? How do we get to the organization?
So you can find our professional services, the stuff that we do for commercial drone work, at DerekEasley.com, www.DerekEasley.com. And you can find LaBAFA on Facebook. That's the Long Beach Acting and Film Association. You can just Google that. And we're on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, but we're mostly active on Facebook. And you can always send me an email and hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. Just Google Derek Easley and you'll find me. And we love to collaborate and help out. And we do LaBAFA meetings at the last Sunday of every single month. So come on out and meet some awesome filmmakers and actors.
Awesome. This guy is the real deal right here. Thank you, brother.
You're the man, Bernie. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And we'll see you next week on Bernie's Applebox. Cut. That's a wrap.